A car horn blares behind you. Your shoulders jump. Your heart slams against your ribs. And here's the strange part. You flinched before you even knew what the sound was. You didn't decide to jump. You didn't have time to. By the time your mind caught up and said, that was just a horn, your body had already reacted. You'd think your brain works like a newsroom. Information comes in, gets checked, gets verified, then a decision goes out. Calm, orderly, rational. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain doesn't wait for the full story. It reacts first and explains itself later. And the system responsible for this isn't some ancient, sluggish leftover. It's fast, it's brilliant, it's working right now, every second, without asking your permission. Where does this come from? And why does it still run your life today? To understand it, you have to go back to a structure buried deep in your skull, smaller than a thumb, shaped like an almond. Its name comes from the Greek word for almond. It's called the amygdala. For decades, scientists assumed fear worked the way logic works. See something, recognize it, decide it's dangerous, then feel afraid. Step by step, in that order. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent years tracing exactly how a fear signal moves through the brain, and what he found broke that assumption apart. He discovered that sensory information doesn't take one path to your awareness, it takes two. One path is slow. It runs through the visual cortex, the part of your brain that carefully builds a detailed, accurate picture of the world. This path is precise. This path is thoughtful. This path is also, critically, too slow to save your life in an emergency. The other path is fast, dangerously fast. It skips the detailed processing almost entirely and runs straight from your senses to your amygdala. LeDoux called it the low road, a shortcut, a rough sketch instead of a photograph. Here's the unsettling part. The low road doesn't need to be right, it only needs to be quick. A shadow in the grass, a shape at the edge of your vision, a sudden loud noise. The low road takes one glance, decides this might kill me, and fires your body into action, all before the high road even finishes drawing its careful picture of what actually happened. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tense, your breath catches. This is not a decision. This is a reflex older than decision-making itself. Why would evolution build something so sloppy? Because for most of human history, being sloppy and fast kept you alive, while being accurate and slow got you killed. Picture an early human walking near tall grass. A rustle, a shape, two possibilities. Predator or wind. If it's wind and you flinch anyway, you've lost nothing. Maybe a second of dignity. Maybe a racing heart for no reason. But if it's a predator and you wait calmly, rationally, to be sure before reacting, you don't get a second chance to update your theory. Natural selection doesn't reward accuracy. It rewards survival. And across millions of years, the humans who flinched first and asked questions later were simply the ones who lived long enough to pass that trait down. You are descended from the flinchers, not the philosophers. But this raises a deeper question. If the low road bypasses conscious sight, does your brain even need to see danger at all? This is where the research gets genuinely eerie. Psychologist Beatrice de Gelder studied a patient known in the scientific literature as TN. TN was cortically blind. The part of his brain responsible for conscious visual awareness had been destroyed. By every clinical measure, he could not see. He reported seeing nothing. Ever. Researchers walked him down a hallway scattered with obstacles. He navigated around every single one, with no cane, no guide, and no conscious awareness that he was doing it. Then they showed him images of faces, some neutral, some contorted in fear and anger. TN couldn't consciously identify a single one. He insisted he saw nothing at all, but his amygdala responded anyway. His body reacted to the threatening faces exactly as a sighted person's would, even though the part of him that experiences seeing had gone dark. Somewhere inside him, a version of vision still existed, a version built purely for danger, a version that never bothered to inform the rest of him that it was even working. Doesn't that change how you think about your own reactions? The flinch, the shiver, the sudden unease in a room you can't explain. Some of that may not be coming from anything you consciously notice at all. Psychologist Robert Zajonc pushed this idea even further. He proposed something that split the field of psychology in half when he first said it. Feeling, he argued, comes before thinking, not alongside it, before it. His experiments showed something remarkable. People exposed to an image for a fraction of a second, far too briefly to consciously register what it was, still developed a preference for it later, positive or negative, without ever knowing why. Their gut had already decided. Their mind was simply catching up, inventing reasons for a verdict that had been reached without it. Think about the last time you disliked someone the instant you met them. No real reason, no evidence, just a feeling. That feeling may not have come from nowhere. It may have come from a version of you that noticed something, processed it, and passed judgment, all before your conscious mind was even invited into the room. This is the twist most people never expect. You are not one continuous, rational observer moving calmly through your day. You are, in part, a passenger. A very fast, very old system is scanning the world constantly, making split-second calls about safety, and only afterward handing you a tidy explanation to make sense of what your body already did. Your amygdala isn't asking your permission. It's not waiting for a committee meeting. It sees a fast-moving shape, hears a sharp sound, senses a shift in someone's tone, and it moves. Immediately. The story you tell yourself afterward, I was startled because of the loud bang, is real, but it's also late. It's a caption added after the photograph was already taken. So think again about that car horn. Your flinch wasn't a glitch. It wasn't your brain malfunctioning under pressure. It was a system, refined over millions of years, doing exactly what it was built to do. Deciding fast in a world where fast decisions used to be the only thing standing between you and a predator's teeth. Now, look at your life today. The predators are mostly gone, but the system that watched for them never got the memo. It still fires at a notification buzzing in your pocket. It still tightens your chest during an argument before you've even chosen your words. It still makes you dislike a stranger's tone of voice for reasons you can't name. You are walking around every single day with an ancient bodyguard standing at the door of your mind, one who reacts to shadows the same way it once reacted to lions, because as far as your amygdala is concerned, nothing important has changed. So the next time you flinch at something before you understand why, don't brush it off as irrational. It's not a malfunction. It's a message from a part of you that has been protecting you since long before you learned how to explain yourself. A car horn blares, and once again, your shoulders move first, your mind arrives second, and somewhere in between, ancient biology quietly saves you from a danger that, this time, was never really there at all.